Hello, I'm going to be teaching you how to play the intro riff to the song Inverted by Gorguts, which is a cute little thing that sounds like this. So right from the get-go you can see that this is quite an unusual riff, which is why I decided to make a separate guitar lesson on it. You can't really tab it out due to all these weird techniques with your pick that you have to use while you play it. But let's start with the essentials first. So like all Gorguts songs, at least before the later albums and their earlier albums, so just obscure and from wisdom to hate I think, you're going to be tuned to C standard. So that's 2 whole steps below standard tuning, 4 semitones. And because that's fairly low, you may need to have some heavier strings to play Gorguts songs. Like I use a hybrid set of 11s on the top 3 strings and 12s from the bottom 3 strings. I'm going to put the specific string name in the description because I don't remember at the moment. You can take a look there right now. Another thing that may help you out while you play this riff is to hold your pick with 3 fingers like your James Hetfield, because you're going to be slamming it quite hard into the strings. And you know, any additional grip that will prevent it from slipping out of your hand, that would definitely be a lot of help. I'm sorry for the baby screaming in the background, nothing I can do about it. So I think this riff can be broken down into 4 main components, which I'm going to teach you procedurally. So let's begin with the first one, in which you keep your left hand away from the fretboard, like just open strings, and then you rake your pick somewhere around the bridge pickup, starting from around the B or G and upwards. And you don't rake it in the conventional sense, but you make sure that the thin end of your pick is against the strings, almost like you're scraping them. Like you can hear that scratching sound, and you want to hear that as well. It sounds like a blade unsheathing, and I think it adds to all the edginess of this riff. And after you do that, you just mute with your left hand. So you can practice that move a few times. The second part of the riff is the one I've shown you, where you just slam your pick somewhere around the bridge pickup. You want this sound to come out as percussive, so if you do this closer to, I don't know, the neck pickup, you're gonna hear a bit of a pitch in there. Sounds like the Tom Morello thing from Guitar Hero, and you don't want that. You want it to sound like muted strings. What also helps here is having your left hand, sorry that the sun is really bright today, left hand somewhere around this part of the fretboard, so that the strings are really muted, you know, making sure they're not going to be moving around a lot. And that is what produces this sound. So taken together with the first part, you get something like. You can hear Gorguts do this on some other songs, like Obscura, for instance. Something like that. But anyways, the third part, and probably the hardest, is you have to quickly move your pick over to the 21st fret on the G and B strings. And you have to really slam it into them, almost like you're tapping, like you're trying to fret them. You want both of them to ring out as well. I think what helps is to attack the strings a little in front of the metal fret, and also hold your pick as parallel as possible to the metal part of the fret. It's still most likely not going to ring out fully every time, but that doesn't matter because this riff is so fucking messy. And then after you do that, you release, then you mute with your left hand. So we're doing 3 things in this part. Tap, release, mute. Tap, release, mute. And so doing the first 3 parts of the entire riff, we get something like rake, hit, tap, and so you just repeat that whole thing, I think 3 times. So up to full speed it will be something like. And then you've got a little turnaround where you actually get to play guitar normally. So what you do is you start with an open low E string. Remember, we were tuned down to C standard. Then you play a tritone, so you have the first fret on the E and the second fret on the A. And so you just play the open string, tritone, tritone, and you repeat that twice. So it sounds a bit like taking that more slowly. And that will be the fourth part of the riff. So that's pretty much the whole thing. You just play break, hit, tap, repeat that 3 times. And at the end of it, you do. Then this repeats a few more times during the song, like in the outro, and I think somewhere around the middle. The rest of the song, I think the tabs actually more than suffice to do this, but I just wanted to make a separate video because I've never really seen anyone teach this properly, though there are many guitar covers that do it very well. Like there's a dude with a 7-string guitar and like it's got some wood grain on it. Well, but I hope that was helpful. If any part of this was confusing, just ask me in the comments and I'll clarify. Good luck.